Derek Mantilla, back with us. And we talked during the watch party, but we now get a little extended time, Derek. So what do you think? Would you like to see the Olympics go down in LA with all the sports stars? And do you think it would have an impact like, say, basketball or hockey does on the Olympics when they send their big boys?
I mean, AJ's right. The one way to get interest in this is to have the actual MLB players be a part of it. But that's not going to happen. There's no way, because on the flip side, no, I'm not sending my best players out there. The guys that I spend all that money on. You're playing games for this team, and that's my primary concern as the owner of a franchise. I know you want to grow the game, but I'd have a hard time seeing these guys be allowed to go play in something like this in the middle of the season.
Hold on, Derek. We got a special guest. Jonathan Papelbon's joining us. Hold on, wait.
Hey, actually, it's great you bring that up, because thanks to you guys, we're starting a cockfighting podcast together. So I'm looking
Oh no. All right. Well, on the field, your boys are looking pretty good right now. The team that you covered, the Diamondbacks, really showing the world what it's all about. So do you think they're the favorite? Like, they're technically not the favorite on BetMGM odds at the moment to win the series, but they're getting close. But do you think at this point, from what you've seen, barely lose one game, win the next convincingly, now take the series to their home ballpark, do you think that they're the favorite to win the series?
I feel like they are, especially because of the way we saw them play in that Philly series, right? I didn't expect that kind of performance in Philadelphia from this team, and the way that they were able to get the job done there. It makes it hard to not have them be the favorite. But I also understand that this Texas Rangers team is really good and really talented. They've proved that they can win on the road as well. That's why this doesn't seem like a slam dunk series at home at Chase Field. So it'll be interesting to see, especially with these three games, how things go. I'm really glad, though, the way things line up, because the way that Merrill Kelly pitched in game two, I don't think that there is another guy you would want to see potentially lined up for a game 7 should it go that far.
Before game 1 of the World Series, should Evan Longoria have been benched? And do you still feel the same way?
I don't. I don't, but it's because this team is so youthful that the experience of guys like Evan Longoria and Tommy Pham, I think, are a big part of why they're here, right? Like, the rest of this roster has no clue. There's a few guys in there. I don't want to take away from some of them, but Corbin Carroll, Alec Thomas, Brandon Pfaadt, these guys they're just playing baseball, and I don't have an explanation as to how they're able to do what they've been able to do, but they seem to be very comfortable, in this big role. Granted, in his press conference yesterday, it was like stand-up hour with Pfaadt there for a little bit. He was cracking jokes and correcting people's pronunciation of Louisville, which I think I got that right there. I hope he's not mad at me for that. But there's a lot about this team right now that feels like is going in their direction.
So I know you said you don't have an explanation for it, but I'm still going to press you on that front anyway. I think back to when they lost series against the Yankees and the Mets towards the end of the year, and I look at the ball that they're playing right now. What's the one thing that stands out the most? And let's put Pfaadt aside, right? Because clearly he's been a different pitcher in the postseason, even though we know the stuff's been there. And also he's a rookie, so he's just showing up, and that's been huge. But that's not the only thing going on here. So, like, what else stands out to you where you're like, they weren't doing that in September?
Offense, really. I mean, really, when it comes to what they've done in some of these series, I mean, the 11-1 victory against the Dodgers just completely blew me away, and I was unexpected. This team has not been able to put up these kind of runs. If you look back at their season, you look back at their run differential this year, I think them and Miami were the only two teams to sneak in with a negative run differential. This team just was not scoring runs consistently, and even when they were, it seemed like they would just do enough to win games and not really blow teams out like we've seen them do a few times so far here in the postseason. To me, that's the most surprising part.
Do you think that if the Texas Rangers see Ginkel and Seawald, the next, say, how many potential games are left? 5?
5, but they got to win 3.
Right. So let's say they see him let's say it goes 7. They see him in 4 out of the next 5. Do you think that eventually it's going to cause a problem? Like if you're seeing the same guys over and over again?
Yeah, I think that's the reason why you see Troy Lovullo pull guys so early. I mean, I know there's constantly been discussions about Lovullo pulling Fott early, Lovullo pulling Merrill Kelly early. I think a big part of it is that he's just trying to protect his starting pitcher at times from, being seen too many times. And that could be the case with the bullpen in a 7-game series like this. I don't think that either one of those guys do a whole lot that you don't already know is coming, especially Paul Sewald. I mean, the Rangers are very familiar with him considering he used to be right there in their division with the Mariners. So I think that experience might be the reason why Corey Seager hit that home run off of them. It might be, a problem. Torrey is going to rely on this bullpen, and the guys that he's going to rely on are Ryan Thompson, Paul Sewald, and Kevin Ginkel. And those guys have continued to be great for this team down the stretch. They're absolutely, when you talk about the regular season, you talk about those games there in August. They're the reason this team was able to sneak into the playoffs and then do all of this stuff that they've done so far. So I think they're going to continue to rely on them. I think we're going to see Torrey continue to, kind of limit like Brandon Fott today, for instance. I wouldn't be surprised if he only faces 18 batters again, and that's the end of his day, no matter how good he's doing. So I just feel like Torrey is going to rely on the thing that brought him here, and that's been the bullpen, even though that faltered in game one.
D-backs fans accepting of bandwagon D-backs fans, or are they a
Yes.
really close-knit group of hundred of people?
No, we can't be picky here. We need to accept all the fans, we can. And honestly, I've talked about it before. This organization has a hard time building fans for so many reasons. Not only have they not been around for a million years like all of the other franchises in baseball, but they literally have the fans here in town split up by spring training and by the fact that so many people are transplant fans here. So I think the Snakes need as many fellow Snakes as possible. So if I'm an ambassador for this team right now, I will say we welcome everybody because this team's fun and they're young. They're going to be exciting to watch for a number of years. And I think that this is just the beginning, which what a way to introduce the world to, Corbin Carroll and Alec Thomas and Brandon Fott like this.
What's the scene been like out there? Now they get to host the games, but did they host people at the ballpark for the first two? You know how some places will do that? They didn't? Okay.
Yeah, they have like a Guy Fieri's restaurant out front that they've been doing all of the watch parties for, and they've been pretty electric, to be honest. I mean, people here are excited, and there's basketball and hockey starting. The Cardinals, those are the Cardinals, so there's not a lot to be excited about at times sports wise here in this town. The Suns pretty much run things here, and it feels really great for fans to be coming out to the airport to see the guys come back, and it feels great to have everybody's so excited about this team. This is how the organization can build a fan base is by doing this. It was Jerry Colangelo's vision in the first place. He said we have to win in order to build fans here, and that's why 2001 they made such a push to do that. Then this year couldn't be more different than that 2001 team. Yet here we are, back in the World Series.
Derek, what you saw the Tommy Pham stuff about him giving up his bat? I mean, you have to love that, right? I mean, as a lover of sports and a lover of team sports, you have to be like this ultimate team thing.
It's just an example of how people have talked about Tommy Pham in the Diamondbacks clubhouse. Pham gets a bad rap at times. There's been a lot of talk about his reputation and such, and I think that this is just an example of who he truly is. This team, their catchphrase has become "We're a connected team," and connected teams are a dangerous team. There's also some expletives in there as well, but it's the exciting part about it is this is showing why they call themselves a connected team. I mean, it goes beyond the stats and everything like that. And they've really tried to play baseball in a way where they hand the baton off to the next guy and trust that your teammates can get it done. The locker room has just galvanized over not only this run, but kind of over the fact that they've played so many important games. Like we kind of joked about calling almost every regular season game in September, a must win, but they've been playing playoff baseball for a long time. And I think that that's allowed them to truly have that, this is our last game kind of point of view going into every single game they play.
So this D-backs team is a young team. Okay, as a fan, as a D-backs fan who's hasn't seen anything really since 2001, no World Series since 2001, would you take a World Series this year and no more playoff appearances for another 20, or no more World Series again for another 20 plus years? Or would you rather this team lose this year, play 5 more playoff years, and then win a World Series?
Oh, that's tough. I've enjoyed this playoff run so much that if I had to pick one of those two options, it would probably be getting to watch this team, make 5 more playoff runs. Like it's just been so exciting, and they've you know, there's been the fun with Mad Dog Russo. There's been, adopting Ski from Sexy Red as their unofficial anthem. There's just been so much like stuff that makes you love this team. So I think that playing meaningful games at the end of the season is what it's all about. And then getting to this point where you can kind of make some noise in the playoffs and build a fan base, especially, when you get down to this, like the Diamondbacks, getting seen nationally in a way that they don't normally, get seen, and kind of having a chance to grow this organization's fan base. It's been a lot of fun. So I would pick more playoffs and eventually getting there, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully what we can see is both of those things combined with this team.
You can't have both. Sorry, that wasn't part of the
I
question.
want both. I want both.
Yeah, well, you can't. But you can have a 75-degree day in Arizona when all these Texans are coming into Arizona and saying, wow, Arizona's really nice and the roof's going to be open. Is this good or bad for the Diamondbacks, or even the game tonight? How is this going to play? How's it going to affect it?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm taking the over on the runs scored. That's for sure, with the roof open. But Chase Field with the roof open is just a completely different place. We don't get to see it often with so many 100-degree days here in Arizona. So I think that the atmosphere is going to be incredible. It's sold. The rest of the series is sold out here at home. So I think with the roof open, the panels open, we're gonna see the ball flying a little bit more than we typically do, and it's going to be interesting to see how these offenses can get on track. I'll say this, though. I love the fact that, we have Alek Thomas playing so well offensively right now, because there's nobody you want playing center field for this team other than Thomas, especially at Chase Field. It's wonky. It's weird. It's got the overhang there and the porch in center field. Most home runs that would be home runs elsewhere are not home runs here. So it's just great to have such a great defender out there, tracking everything down. He's been tremendous for this team.
Derek, before we let you go, enough about the World Series. I got to ask about the things behind you. Are you going to be Iron Man as Halloween? Because you also have a Luigi hat. And then are you
I do. You saw the Luigi hat. That's the mustache, the Luigi hat. It all goes together. Yeah, for sure. I got a little Super Mario thing planned for sure. But
okay, makes sense, because your mustache kind of got the M, so you could maybe be Mario over Luigi. But
yeah.
And then are you like George Costanza? You needed the dig dug machine behind you because you have the all-time record and you didn't want to unplug it, so you got like the battery and you wheeled it home, and then so you wouldn't unplug because you had the all-time high score?
Actually, exactly how it went. I did have to Frogger it across the street, though, and that was very perilous. So I'm glad I got it here in one piece.
Okay. Are you the dig dug champion of all time?
I am the dig dug champion of all time. I am a huge dig dug guy, so it's not usually on a lot of people's radar. So maybe that's how I maintain that title. But I just call myself the mayor of everything. So I'm the mayor of Dig Dug, mayor of PHNX. One time, Heidi Watney on the Apple broadcast called me the actual mayor of Phoenix, which I appreciate that, even though I didn't have to run in any election. So things are going well for me.
All right.
Nice job, Heidi. I like that.
Yeah.
What's Dig Dug, by the way?
Oh my gosh!
Stop it.
It's this little guy who walks around. He
Get him out of
dragons
here.
and stuff, and you have to like pump them up with air and you make them explode. Gosh, you've never played Dig Dug? Have you ever seen Seinfeld when he gets the Frogger and he has Costanza and he has to take the Frogger across the street, and it's one of the greatest.
I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
You don't know what Dig Dug is.
I got no time between this show and our next show, so I'll work on it.
When you were 12, there was no time?
That's fair.
No. I'm saying now to learn it. No, 12. I didn't come across it. I mean, was that before or after like Sonic and Sega Genesis?
Before. This is like Pac-Man days.
Oh well, then
this is like Pac-Man, Centipede, Dig Dug. Like, those are like the games.
You are
Pac-Man,
aging me
Pac-Man
100 years as you speak right now.
What about me? That's what I grew up
But
on.
I'm 35. I didn't have Dig Dug. I didn't come across it. Pac-Man though, big Pac-Man guy. So Galaga,
Yeah. See?
yeah, all that stuff.
You're more of a Miss Pac-Man guy for me.
Miss Pac.
You like the turbo, where it was.
I love Miss Pac-Man.
See?
She's fantastic. Derek, thank you. Good luck to your squad. Enjoy watching the
guys.
game tonight.
Appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.